allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Porcello, Superintendent Spotlight.
Thank you. Tonight's always a very special night. We're going to recognize 11 employees who are retiring at the end of this year. I did some quick math. We're over 200 plus years of service, and with that comes incredible experience and wisdom, and the amount of lives that they've impacted with our students is greatly appreciated. So we will take and we'll go group by group. We'll start with the elementary school, then go to the middle school, and then Mr. Chisholm will speak about somebody, then the Mr. Nedwicki, and then I'll wrap it up here. So first up will be Mrs. Stavar, recognizing Kathy Gall, Marie Lavin, and Clint O'Valley, but one at a time. So come on up, Mrs. Stavar.
I'm so excited that I get to start. Where do you want to put them?
You want to use the podium?
Just be glad your husband's not here timing.
You can start the timer now, Mr. Staver. Would you like me to do them in the order, or should I do them in the? I think I'm going to start with Mr. O'Valley and Ms. Lavin because they're not able to be present tonight.
Sure.
I just want to say a few words about them, and then I will talk about Mrs. Gall. So, one of the things I've learned in my many years here is that a strong foundation for our kids isn't just about literacy. It's not just about math. It's about the people who make those kids feel safe being here. And that brings me to Clint O'Valley. Clint spent about a decade as an SRO for Perry Schools, but he has a story of service that goes back much further. Before he ever walked our halls, he served our country in the Army in Iraq, and as a member of the National Guard. He also spent years on the streets as a policeman in Cleveland. And when you look at Clint, you're looking at a lifetime of looking out for other people. Having Clint, and of course his partner Captain, in our building at the elementary school the last 2 years has been a real delight. We talk about our students being good peeps all the time and learning how to be safe citizens. Clint and Captain have lived that out every day, and they've taught our students the value of patience, and more importantly, they've given them a sense of security. We want to thank him for his years of dedication to our community and for the quiet strength that he and Captain brought to our halls every day. He has been a vital part of Perry, and we will miss seeing him. We do miss seeing him right now. The kids ask about Captain all the time, but we wish them a well-deserved retirement. So, I'd like to thank them. The second person I'd like to recognize is Marie Lavin. And I don't know how many of you know this, but in 1993, in August of 1993, the district welcomed 25 new teachers. That wasn't just 25 new staff members, it was 25 new teachers. There were a lot of us. Marie Lavin and I are the last of those teachers that are here. And Marie actually started her career a year earlier at St. Anne's, but when she found her way to Perry, she stayed. She was here for 33 years, and 30 of those were teaching kindergarten. And then because of staffing and scheduling changes, she looped up and taught the last 3 years in first grade. One of the things that is really important to understand about Marie is she didn't just teach, she kind of created this world out of her classroom. And it was a world of fiction and Jan Brett books and fairy tales, and singing and dancing and all kinds of magical things happened in her classroom. But if you really want to know about her legacy, all you have to do is say 2 words: Hawaii Day. And if you've ever been in the elementary school on Hawaii Day, you realize that she kind of recreates the islands within the school. She famously recruited the entire high school wrestling team to haul props and equipment and turn her classroom into the islands. Mr. DeHaas flew the plane and got the kids to Hawaii. Today there are still staff members and graduates who have come back and are now parents of elementary school students who talk about remembering Hawaii Day and what a magical experience that was. Some of them were actually convinced that as they sat on those cafeteria chairs, we were flying to Hawaii. On a personal note, Marie taught both of our children, Lee and Ben, and I will never forget the 2005 school year, as will several of the English teachers in the audience, when Rich and I, along with the rest of the high school English department, spent time each week journaling with kindergartners, kneeling next to them and helping them to write down their thoughts. It gave us a great perspective on a student's learning journey. Teaching high school at that time, getting to see where they were starting was kind of an incredible thing for us all to see. Marie's been a teacher leader, a mentor to new staff, and a guide for so many student teachers. She's pushed every student to reach their full potential, and she's done it with her heart wide open. We want to thank her for the 33 years that she's been here in Perry and making Perry a better place for our students. We're going to miss her and want to congratulate her on her retirement. And now for Kathy Hall. I have spent a lot of time lately thinking about what it is that makes Perry special. And a big part of what makes Perry special is that the people that come here stay here. And the Kathy Gall has been a fixture in the Perry schools since she started in 1989 at Center Road School. She has taught 4th and 5th graders, and luckily, based on world events, in the 2019-2020 school year, she became our guidance counselor. And I say lucky because I think that was a time when we really needed some guidance. The first time I met Kathy, she was teaching at the middle school. She was teaching 5th grade, I was teaching 8th grade, and she'd been teaching in Perry for 6 years at that point. I couldn't imagine having been in Perry that long when I first met Kathy. Our own kids are around the same age. I still have fond memories of picnics, a Christmas party with an actual Santa Claus at Kathy and Pete's house. But one of the things that really makes Kathy stand out, if you ask anyone who works with her or who has worked with her for all of these years, they will tell you 2 things. Kathy has a heart of gold, and she has an inexhaustible supply of energy. I don't know where she gets it. Sorry. He's like, what? I really don't know where she gets it, but whether she is doing lessons for groups, whether she's sitting down for lunch with a student who needs a friend, whether she's helping de-escalate a child during a tough moment, she is always there. She is with them, she is in that moment. And when she took on the guidance position, from everything that people have said about her, she made guidance what the students and staff needed guidance to be. She saw the needs and she filled them. And I think one of the most amazing things is that even in her last year, she has continued to see new needs and continued to work to get better and figure out ways that we can fill those needs. She has this wonderful, gentle way of connecting with kids. She'll find a story that relates to whatever a child's going through. She uses it to help them navigate the emotions and find a path forward. Her work goes way beyond teaching. She teaches our kids a lot, but it goes way beyond that. And her heart doesn't stop at the school doors. Whether it's teaching PSR or helping out with Boy Scout Friday fish fries, even long after her children were no longer in Boy Scouts. She is always looking for a way to serve other people. She loves her garden, her dogs, her family. She talks about those things, and we are really happy that she's going to get more time for all of them. People say in our building, you can kind of ask anybody, if you need something, Kathy's your girl. She's the person that people go to all the time. And Kathy, Perry has needed you for 37 years. and you never let him go. So, thank you for your service, your energy, and for being such a vital part of the Berry family.
Kathy, come on up here. Congratulations on behalf of the Perry Board of Education, a little certificate and some wind chimes.
One.
Justin has a big response.
Good evening. It's an incredible privilege to honor those retiring from middle school this year. It's only my first year at Perry Middle, but getting to know the three that we're talking about tonight has been fantastic, and I couldn't be more proud to be here in this moment. Unfortunately, Mr. Frazier is not able to join us tonight, but I'm going to still say a few things about him. I may have to go into his class and read a speech to him in front of his students one of these days this week, but he will definitely get a copy of the speech. So I'm going to start with Mr. Frazier. Tonight, we celebrate and honor a truly dedicated educator, coach, mentor, and advocate for students, Chad Frazier. Chad began his educational career at Cleveland Heights, where he taught science from 1993 to 1995. He then moved to West G, where from 1995 to 2007, he taught physical education, health, and sixth grade ancient world history. Some of you didn't know that. In 2007, Chad brought his passion for education students to Perry Schools, where he has faithfully served our district for the past 19 years, teaching PE in both Perry High School and Perry Middle School. Throughout his career, Chad has exemplified what it means to be a student-centered educator. No matter the role, grade level, or classroom, his focus has always been on doing what is best for kids. Chad has built strong, meaningful relationships with students by taking the time to truly get to know them, encourage them, and support them both inside and outside of the classroom. Students have always known Chad cared about them, not just as learners, but as people. He has consistently created an environment where students feel respected, valued, challenged, and supported. His calm demeanor, his positive attitude, and his genuine investment in others has made a lasting impact on countless of young people throughout his career. His commitment to relationship building is also extended to his colleagues and to the broader school community. He's been a trusted teammate, a supportive coworker, and someone others can always count on. His professionalism, steady leadership, and dedication to Perry Schools have made an important part of the district for nearly 2 decades. As Chad enters his retirement, he and his wife, who is also retiring this year, are looking forward to spending part of the year in Florida and enjoying this exciting new chapter together. It's a well-earned opportunity after decades of service to students and education. While retirement brings new adventures, Chad's impact on Perry Schools will not be forgotten. His dedication to students, his commitment to doing what is right, and the relationships he built along the way have left a legacy that will continue to influence our schools for years to come. Chad, thank you for your years of service, your compassion, your leadership, and your commitment to our students. Congratulations on your retirement and best wishes for many happy days ahead in Florida and beyond. Right, so we're gonna move to Cindy Pinter. Cindy, where are you? Oh, you're okay. Great. Tonight we celebrate the remarkable career of someone who has left a lasting mark on our schools, our students, and our community, Cindy Pinter. Cindy joined us in the early 2000s after coming from Cuyahoga Heights, bringing with her a passion for learning, creativity, and a connection that quickly became evident to everyone around her. Interestingly, her professional journey began in fashion merchandising, but education was clearly where she was meant to be. Over the years, she transformed countless classrooms into places where students felt inspired, challenged, and cared for. For nearly 25 years, Cindy and Amy Stabar, whom you just heard from, formed a partnership that became legendary in our district. Together, they created experiences students remember for a lifetime and built a culture of collaboration and support that benefited generations of learners. Cindy's creativity was unmatched. Who could forget the Time Capsule Project, or the hundreds of kindergartners who received letters from Santa's elves in beautifully decorated envelopes, complete with a North Pole postmark. Those magical moments reflected exactly who Cindy is, thoughtful, imaginative, and deeply committed to making children feel special. Her dedication to literacy and writing was equally extraordinary. The master's degree in literacy instruction and recognition as a National Writing Project Fellow, Cindy inspired students and colleagues alike to find their voice through reading and writing. As the 8th grade teacher leader, she modeled excellence, mentorship, and a commitment to student success. Beyond the classroom, Cindy devoted years to coaching Power of the Pen, encouraging young writers to think critically and creatively. And for more than 2 decades, she led Washington, D.C. trips that gave students unforgettable opportunities to learn history firsthand while creating memories they still talk about years later. The true measure of a career in education is not only in years served, but in lives touched. By that measure, Cindy's impact has been extraordinary. Cindy, thank you for your passion, your leadership, your creativity, and your heart. Thank you for the joy you brought to students and colleagues every single day. While retirement marks the end of this chapter, the legacy you leave behind will continue for many years to come. Please join me in congratulating and celebrating Cindy on an incredible career and very well-earned retirement.
Congratulations and thank you for everything you've done.
All right, and last but not least, Tammy, I didn't forget about you. All right, tonight we have the privilege of honoring someone whose dedication, kindness, and impact inspired generations of students and families in Perry schools, Tammy Roberts. Born and raised in Perry, Ohio, Tammy graduated from Perry High School in 1988 before continuing her education at Ohio University, graduating in 92. Just months later, she married her high school sweetheart, Andy Roberts, beginning a beautiful partnership that continues today. After college, Tammy and Andy lived in Columbus, where she spent a year substitute teaching in Worthington schools, but Perry was always home. And in 1993, she returned to begin what would become a remarkable 32-year career in the Perry School District. From 1993 to 1995, Tammy served as the after-school director for PASS, Perry After School Special, while also substitute teaching throughout the district. She then spent 95 to 96 school years as a long-term second grade sub at Perry Elementary School before officially being hired in 1996 as a third grade teacher at Perry Elementary. Over the years, Tammy taught multiple grade levels, impacting countless students. She moved from second to third grade for 2 cycles, taught first grade for many years, and in 2014, moved from 5th grade at Perry Middle School, where she continued inspiring students for the next 12 years until her retirement in February of 2026. Beyond the classroom, Tammy gave generously of her time and talents. She served on the LPDC, worked as a teacher leader, co-facilitated the spelling bee, volunteered as a torchlight mentor, coached 7th grade volleyball, and was a member of the Delta Kappa Gamma, a professional society for women educators, for 10 years. One of her most meaningful contributions was opening the Pirate Care Closet at Perry Middle School, a reflection of her compassionate heart and commitment to students. Outside of school, Tammy enjoys horseback riding, gardening, reading, cooking, fishing, boating, relaxing in Florida, spending time at the beach, visiting local wineries, and being a devoted dog mom. Most of all, she treasures her time with her family, especially holding and loving her grandchildren, Will and Parker. Tammy is truly an inspiration to all of us. She is an amazing wife to Andy, a loving mother to Alexa and Abby, Lydia, and a proud and devoted Nana. She's also a caring daughter, sister, friend, and colleague whose warmth and positivity brighten every room she enters. For 32 years, Tammy dedicated herself to the children and families of Perry schools, leaving a lasting impression that will continue for years to come. Her influence extends far beyond lesson plans and classrooms. It lives in the hearts of the students she encouraged, the colleagues she supported, and the community she helped strengthen. Tammy, thank you for your service, your passion, and your commitment to Perry schools. Congratulations on your retirement, and may this next chapter bring you endless joy, relaxation, and many wonderful adventures. Congratulations, Tammy.
Tammy, congrats and thank you very much.
One more. 1, 2.
Really nervous, so I need people up here. You'll see how it ties together here. So today we celebrate two remarkable educators whose careers have left a lasting mark on our school, our students, and our community. While they are very different in personality and style, they share something truly special: a deep love for people and an unwavering commitment to helping young people grow into their very best selves. First, we honor Jen Hunter, who has dedicated 33 years to teaching English and inspiring creativity in countless students. But her impact extends far beyond the classroom. Through yearbook, journalism, theaters, plays, and musical, she gave students opportunities to find their voices, discover their confidence, and step into the spotlight, often literally. Her energy, creativity, and larger-than-life presence have made our school brighter. She has a gift for seeing potential in students, encouraging them to take risks, and helping them shine. Whether she was directing a production, shaping a story, or offering words of encouragement, she always made people feel seen. And now, after years of making that hour-long commute, she's trading lesson plans for lattes as she heads home to Parma to co-manage a coffee shop named Love Coffee, appropriately, with one of her friends. For someone who has spent decades energizing students, it feels fitting that her next chapter will involve caffeinating people. We wish her shorter walks to work, plenty of espresso, and standing ovations from satisfied customers. Jen Hunter. We also honor Mark Soder, who has spent 28 years shaping minds through social studies and service at Perry High School. Quietly and thoughtfully, he built something extraordinary here, our service learning program. For the past 20 years, this program has challenged students to look beyond themselves, to engage with their communities, and to understand that education is not just about what you know, but what you do with what you know. His vision created a legacy that will continue to influence students for years to come. Even in retirement, his work of serving others continues through his role with Magnified Giving, where he will keep advancing the cause that has defined so much of his career, helping young people understand the power of service. One talk from the stage, Mark Soder. One talk from the stage, the other often from quiet example. One thrives in the spotlight, the other is content to work behind the scenes. Both have spent their careers doing the same essential work: listening, advocating, challenging, encouraging, and believing in young people. They have shown us that there is no single way to be a great teacher. What matters is the heart behind the work. To both of you, thank you for your years of dedication, your passion, and countless lives you have changed. Your legacies will remain in this school, in its programs, its traditions, and most importantly, in the students who are better because they knew you. Congratulations and enjoy the next chapter. You both earned it.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Ms. Hunter, thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, one, maybe.
Good evening. A couple of interesting revelations the last few speeches. I can't believe when I was the elementary principal that someone let me move Murray Lavin out of kindergarten after 30 years. It would have been really great information at the time. Kathy, how it was really funny, I have to share that I've been a part of the interview committee that's looking to replace, if one could use the word, Kathy in this capacity, and Mrs. Stavar and myself keep leaving these meetings, and I'm like, if only they were this. I'm like, if only they were that. And Amy said something to me the other day. She's like, Jim, you can't hire Kathy. I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll have to
Well, maybe.
read.
I renew my
Hey.
license.
This is editable. 10 minutes. And funny enough, I have the privilege tonight to speak on the career of Mrs. Sharon Braden, who's not with us today, sharing our, congratulations and a fond farewell for about 30 minutes until we get to section D and reapprove her as a substitute, because she is already tired of being retired. So she's coming right back to us, which has been wonderful. Most recently, for the last several years, Mrs. Braden was a recess associate at Perry Elementary School, but she had previously worked for us before for 14 years, spanning a career at the elementary school that went from 1997 to 2011 before she went on and then finally returned to us. After having left in 2011, she called me up in December of 23, really just wanted to return back to the schools prior to her retirement. With grandchildren in the district, she was really missing out on seeing both them and being a part of a district that, in her words, had given so much to her family. Sharon and her family had moved to Perry in 1995 on what she would personally describe as dumb luck. They were leaving Cleveland's near west side for something quieter, not necessarily knowing at the time that Perry had undergone a rapid transformation. She fell in love with the district, her earliest memories being volunteering in Mrs. Sally Murphy's kindergarten class, where her son was enrolled, and the role of mom and volunteer in a small town were exactly the change that she was looking for after having worked for the East Trust Company following her graduation from John Marshall in 1977 and driving trucks during the Teamster strike in the mid-80s. So during Mrs. Braden's early years of volunteering at Perry, special education inclusion became a mainstream practice with increase on emphasis of students' rights to be educated alongside their non-disabled peers in the general education classroom, which made it a perfect fit. A penchant for kiddos with complicated needs, Mrs. Braden found herself at the early footsteps of educational history, being brought on as an educational associate to support students at our elementary school with profound disabilities seeking inclusion inside the classroom. Working along staff members like Tish Talika and Barry Sneed, Mrs. Braden spent the next decade and a half at TES supporting our students that needed her the most. After her own two boys finished their time at Perry, Mrs. Braden moved on, first working at a goat and chicken farm over on Ford Road, followed by a career at Lake Tran before finally, again, returning to us in 2023. Thought that was the baby. All told, during her 16 years at Perry, Mrs. Braden likely worked for over a dozen school principals and assistant principals. She couldn't really name any of us, but she could tell me the name of every single student that she supported, and that's where the memory matters. I wanted to close with some words from kiddos themselves. So I wandered out onto the playground and asked the students about Mrs. Braden. The first student I approached, I asked, "Hey, do you know Mrs. Braden?" And he said, "Yes, but who are you?" It's a fair question. Then my own fourth grade daughter told me I was being weird and needed to go back to my office. But finally I found a kiddo and I asked him about Mrs. Braden, and he said, "Is that the lady with red hair?" I said, "Yes, that's the lady with red hair." And he said, "She's nice. I miss her. Where did she go and why isn't she here?" I didn't want to go into details about her SCRS bylaws requiring her to remain unemployed for 60 days to ensure she can collect the entirety of her pension. But suffice to say, we missed her. And we're grateful for the time, energy, love, and attention that she afforded our community's children throughout the years, and we wish her the absolute best of luck in her retirement. Thank you.
All right, I have the honor of talking about two of our retirees, both Amy Stavar and Darcy Murphy, and I'll start with Amy Stavar. Amy Stavar has dedicated the last 36 years to the students of the Perry community, doing her greatest effort, putting forth her as much energy and effort as anybody I've seen in my time. Her career began with 3 years of substitute teaching in both Perry and Mentor schools before being hired full-time at Perry schools in 1993. Over the past 33 years, Amy has poured an incredible amount of energy and passion into helping students experience success. During her 29 years in the classroom, Amy spent the majority of her career as an 8th grade English teacher, while also spending 2 years as teaching PSL with our senior students during a maternity leave. After many successful years in the classroom, she embraced a new challenge by moving into administration, first serving as an assistant principal at Perry Middle School for 1 year before taking on the role of principal at Perry Elementary School for the past 3 years. When I think of Amy Stavar, I think of someone who always puts people first and consistently chooses to do the right thing, regardless of how difficult it may have been. Her integrity and dedication to students and staff are evident in everything that she did. Each day, she gave her very best to the people she served, always striving to support and encourage, and often served as the role of someone who could simply listen with empathy. And I think of about different times I've had with Amy Stavar in the conversations, and the look on her face is one of true care. Some people listen and spend the time listening to you, others you can tell and really get that sense of care. So Amy, I thank you for that, and I know that that was felt throughout. The traits of integrity and dedication are what all of us are called to demonstrate on a daily basis. Give our best each day and choose what is right. That is the Amy Stavar model for how to live. Amy exemplified those qualities in the way she served as an educator. Over the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity to watch Amy continue to grow as a leader. She never backed away from the difficult conversations or decisions that leadership sometimes is required to make. Yet she always approached those moments with a genuine care for others. 4 years ago, Amy could have comfortably remained in the classroom and chosen familiarity, but instead she chose a new challenge and challenged herself in a way that I don't even think she knew what was ahead of her, but she took it on. She embraced leadership with the same passion and commitment that defined her teaching career, continuing to grow in her understanding of leadership and the powerful impact educators can have on children and the entire community. Amy has never been someone to shy away from a challenge. I also have great respect to her as a mother. She did a fantastic job raising both Lee and Ben, and I think the role of them and the role that her and Rich have done as parents raising 2 wonderful young adults. As Amy begins her retirement here in a couple months, there's great excitement for this next chapter of her life. One thing is certain, wherever life takes her, Amy will continue to approach it with thoughtfulness and a perspective centered on doing what is best for others. Her impact on Perry schools, its students, staff, and community will be lasting and deeply appreciated. Congratulations, Amy Stavar, and thank you very much. Next up, Darcy Murphy. Darcy Murphy has dedicated her career to growth, innovation, and service throughout both the business and educational communities of Northeast Ohio. Prior to working in education, she spent 10 years with Huntington Bank in training and development, as well as security and investigations for the Northeast Ohio division, something I did not know of until this morning. Thanks for filling me in there. She later joined Auburn Career Center as part of the Adult Workforce Development Team, where she provided customized technology training and development for business, industry, and the community. During her 15 years at Auburn, she served in several leadership roles, including EMIS coordinator, webmaster, student information system manager, and IT coordinator. Through these different staff developments that she held at Auburn, she collaborated with many from throughout the Perry community and was intrigued by potentially joining the team. And she had that opportunity back in 2011. So over the past 15 years, Darcy has played an instrumental role in transforming and modernizing technology throughout the Perry district. It was a great selection at the time. She led the way in a very pivotal 15 years when you think of technology in schools and everything that has took place in the last 15 years. She led the transition from third-party vendor management to in-house system management, creating significant cost savings for the district, while also centralizing printing services to improve efficiency. Under her leadership, Perry transitioned from traditional computer labs to a one-on-one student device environment and completed major infrastructure upgrades involving switches, cabling, wireless access points, phone systems, and servers. The things that many of us take for granted when they go out nowadays, Darcy's behind them, making sure that they come back on as soon as possible. It's interesting watching the whole IT world and what it's become in schools. Darcy has to be prepared for that 24/7. You never know when the call's gonna come in, when the Wi-Fi's out, switches aren't working, C-tier's not working, whatever it might be, Darcy's on call, and I'm sure she won't miss that call any longer. What stands out most to me when I reflect on Darcy's career is her commitment to growth and supporting others. Much of the work that an IT person does is behind the scenes, yet its impact is felt every day by students, staff, and community. Through her professionalism and steady leadership, Darcy has left a lasting impact on Perry schools that will continue to benefit the district for years to come. As I've watched her transition, as we've named Steve Wilson as the next director of IT, her mentorship of Steve and that the leadership that she has provided and just her care for seeing that Perry Schools is taken care of and that Steve is set up for success is top notch, and I greatly appreciate that, Darcy. As Darcy enters retirement, she will embrace her free time and spending many days, I'm sure, floating in the ocean on a large cruise ship headed for the next destination and playing as much golf as possible. Her fun and awfully brutally honest approach to life, which I appreciate greatly, will blend nicely with retirement. We wish her much joy and excitement in this next journey, and thank you for everything she's done at Perry Schools. Thank you, Darcy.
One, two.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Your text messages. That is everybody.
Thank you all for all of your years of service and all the dedication to the district and to all of the kids of the district. You'll all be missed. We wish you all the best. That said, we're going to move on to committee reports, and we'll take a pause if anyone wanted to exit. You're welcome to stay, of course, but this is,
No offense taken.
yeah.
It
Congratulations.
was a special week last week. Our PTA and our leadership staff celebrated our entire staff, sponsoring different events such as the leadership team cooked for all of our staff, and the PTA sponsored the bus stop food truck to each building. We are very appreciative of all of our staff and everything that they've put forward to help our students reach this point of the year. On April 23rd, we held our annual district art show and student learning showcase. Thank you to all of our staff and students who participated, highlighting their talents and skills. From artwork to space rooms and home renovation, there was a lot to be proud of. Speaking of talent, hopefully you had the opportunity to come out and see some of our spring performances. In April, we had concerts from our middle school and high school choirs and bands, as well as our jazz band and the Buccaneers. Thanks to Mr. Ruska, Mr. Miller, Mrs. Singer for all that they do to put on these performances. We are looking forward to our upcoming kindergarten celebration on Friday, May 22nd at 2 p.m. in the Goodwin Theater. Next up, congratulations to our Mentor/Painesville Rotary Club Award winners for the 25-26 theater season. Aubrey Sudo won Best Supporting Female in a comedy/drama. Giovanni Hoza won Best Sub-Support Male in a musical. And Shaylee Frazier won the Tischer Scholarship. Congratulations to these students, as well as their director, Mrs. Jennifer Hunter, who we have already honored earlier today as she takes her final bow as the director of our theater program. On May 1st, we held our annual luau for students with special needs, which took place in our field house. Once again, it was very well attended and appreciated by all of those in attendance. This is a great event thanks to the help of our many staff, students, and community volunteers, as well as the direction that Mrs. Horton and Mrs. LeBeau provide to make this event come together each year. Also on May 1st was our military commitment ceremony, where we celebrated some of our students committed to our country's armed forces. Congratulations to Dane Pike, who's headed to the Air Force, Jocelyn Chorba, also headed to the Air Force, Michael Nowachowski, headed to the Air Force, Brody Hicks, Navy ROTC, and John Farina, who's headed to the Marines. we're proud of all of these students and thank them for their service that they'll be providing to our country. Every 2 years, our SAD students collaborate with our local safety forces to put on a mock crash, which is used as a demonstration to help students learn about the dangers of drinking and driving. So much goes into this event, and we need to mention some of our partners that make this possible, including the Perry Fire Department, the Metro Life Flight, King's Towing and Recovery, and our special effects makeup experts at Regal Vineyards from the Hollow Fest, and Nightmare at Pioneer Waterland, who bring a sense of realism to the scene. It's about a 25 to 30 minute event, which takes our students through the actual live call. As you've seen in the bus loop there, the car is already there, very real, and you sense how long the gap in time from when an accident happens to the response. And it's also great practice for our Perry Fire Department to be able to take place and cut open a real car. And finally, in the one of my recommendations upcoming for today's meeting is the employment of several teachers. I would like to give a special shout out to our building principals who have identified 3 quality candidates. Tyler Mayfield from Cloverleaf Local Schools will be joining us 5th grade. Amanda Skarupa from Nordonia Local Schools will be joining us at the high school teaching English. And Jake Melbasa, Highland Local Schools and Ohio Virtual Academy, will be joining us at Perry High School teaching 9th grade modern world history. So we're excited about all 3 of these candidates. Just a quick overview, they all go through an extensive 3-round interview. We dive really into references, and all 3 have checked out with high ratings all across the board. And this concludes my administrative update.
Thank you, Mr. Porcello. Let's go back. Do we have committee reports?
We had a wellness call with Dr. Cork from Harvard University that one of the members of the community, Maria Resnack, arranged. It was Kathleen, Mr. Chisholm, and I sat on that for the school board. It was in regards to the data center and the effects of the environmental, water, and soil environmental impacts. There was some interesting information provided. Mostly he can do kind of an environmental study that would focus on building materials, air quality, but not essentially the water and the soil. So we had each asked some questions, as did Mr. Chisholm, about the impact of that on our students. I had also raised the cognitive and learning impact assessment that we would need provided, because most of these studies do not look at children under the age of 18. Most study participants are between the ages of 35 and 65, when really the population that our duty is to serve is between pre-K through grade 12. So we're going to wait to hear back if the village takes up the proposal. There was 2 separate plans. One was between $8,000 to $10,000 for a general study, and the other one was between $30,000 to $50,000 for a 2 to 3 month more involved study. A lot of them had variables because there is no end user. They can't look at the building plan or the building requirements of what they're going to use, because we don't know who that person is or what business that company that is. And then also, without having the building plan for this stages or knowing what materials are going to be used, he won't be able to comment on that at the time either. So when we get more information, we will report back.
Okay, thank you. Public participation.
No one signed up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, are we able to share?
Yes, let me just hit the,
I apologize.
No, that's okay.
County General Health District. That's okay, but you'll get the same.
okay, if you could just, you can do it now, right?
Yep.
If you could just state your name, your address, and then you'll have 3 minutes to address the board.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So hi, I'm Nora Larson, and we are from Lake County General Health District. I apologize, I don't know. Oh, okay. Our address is 5966 Kaiser Road, Mentor, Ohio. And we are here to talk about, we've been working with the high school leadership on a couple of our grants, but specifically we're here to talk about tobacco use and vape use in the schools. And we are both on the grant in partnership with the Ohio Department of Health. So we've been working with high school leadership to work on, and we did get the vape disposal plan approved this past, I want to say 2 months or so. But we are looking to get the revised plan, so we're able to again work with leadership at the high school level, and as well as work with a lot of the schools on the environmental club and just talking about that big effect on the environment. Just let me know on time. I'm just going off of what I know. But we did bring copies for everyone. We did send an email today, so we figured we'd reach out to you as well. But we went through the policy manual, and for some background, with the Ohio Department of Health, they grade every school's policy in the state of Ohio, and we choose each school to work with each year. So Perry was the school to work with this year. And we have ones for property, for student, for all the 4 policies that you had. And with leadership, I was able to send our comments and highlight what we've changed or what we are offering to revise, just to cover some of those updates and fit that rubric, just so we have that score here in Lake County in general, but specifically our local school district. So at the end, or whenever is the best time, I can bring these up to all of you and just take a look. We're hoping to get this revised by the end of June, just to have everyone look over it and get that vote. I know our next one, or the next meeting here is the 29th. So I just wanted to share that with you and us introduce ourselves, because I know working with just the high school, but just to introduce ourselves, Christine and myself. So any questions that we can answer?
You're referring, I do have a question, sorry. You're referring to the Perry district policy?
Correct.
In those
So
areas?
the tobacco policy specifically.
Okay.
And I made sure it was easy, again, those little highlights here. It was really the verbiage and working with high school leadership to say, hey, this is what kids are calling it now, or going off the rubric, for instance, like if they need to say anytime, anywhere, we need like 24/7 kind of thing. So it wasn't a lot of revisions by nature means, but just so at the state level, they're knowing that and the Lake County itself is what we take care of with tobacco.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing forward.
Thank you.
Any other public participation? Consent agenda, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley,
Yes.
Mrs. Berga,
Yes.
Mr. Leider,
Yes.
Mrs. Truxton,
Yes.
Mrs. Sealy.
Yes.
Mr. Porcello, superintendent's report.
Thank you. Item A, class of 2026, attaches a list of tentative candidates for graduation in the PHS class of 2026. The board is asked to approve the names subject to the completion of all requirements to receive diplomas at the conclusion of the 25-26 school year, as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. B, personnel approval of non-renewal. The board is asked to approve the non-renewal of the individuals listed for the positions noted, as recommended by the local superintendent and director of student services. C, personnel approval of reemployment administrative. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue salary notices and/or contractual salary adjustments for the 26-27 school year to the following administrative staff members, as recommended by the local superintendent. D, personnel approval of reemployment certificated and license 1. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue salary notices and contracts for the 26-27 school year to the following certificated licensed staff members, as recommended by the local superintendent. E, personnel approval of reemployment non-teaching continuing contracts. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue salary notices for the 26-27 school year to the following non-teaching staff members with continuing contracts, as recommended by the local superintendent. F, personnel approval of reemployment non-teaching limited contracts. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue limited contracts or salary notices for the 26-27 school year to the following non-teaching staff members, as recommended by the local superintendent. G, personnel approval of reemployment exempt contracts hourly. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue salary notices and contracts for the 26-27 school year to the exempt staff members listed, as recommended by the local superintendent. H, personnel approval of reemployment exempt contracts. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue contracts or salary notices for the 26-27 school year to the exempt staff members listed, as recommended by the local superintendent. I, personnel, approval of reappointment, certificated licensed new continuing contracts. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue continuing contracts for the 26-27 school year to certificated licensed staff members listed as recommended by the local superintendent. J, personnel, approval of appointment. The board is asked to approve the appointment for the individuals noted for the position indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, certification, training, and background check as recommended by the Director of Maintenance and Operations, Building Principal, and Local Superintendent. K, personnel, approval of appointment, corrective action. The board is asked to approve the corrective action noted previously approved April 13th, 2026 as recommended by the Local Superintendent and Chief Financial Officer. L, personnel, approval of appointments, Lake County Schools Healthcare Council Fiscal Management. The board is asked to approve the employees listed for the Lake County Schools Healthcare Council Fiscal Management positions indicated. These positions are funded by the Lake County Schools Healthcare Council as recommended by the local superintendent. M, personnel, approval of appointment, curriculum hours. The board is asked to approve the appointment of the individuals listed to complete the curriculum work at the rate of pay of $36 per hour and for the maximum number of hours indicated as recommended by the local superintendent and Director of Innovation and Learning. N, personnel, approval of appointment, summer school. The board is asked to approve the individuals listed for summer stretch position noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. O, personnel, approval of appointment, 26-27 supplemental committee. The board is asked to approve the appointment of the individuals listed below for the supplemental committee position indicated for the 26-27 school year as recommended by the local superintendent and Director of Innovation and Learning. P, personnel, approval of appointment 25-26 non-athletic supplemental. The board is asked to approve the individuals listed for the 25-26 non-athletic supplemental positions noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. Q, personnel, approval of appointment 25-26 athletic supplementals. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the 25-26 athletic supplemental positions and rate of pay indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, certification, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. R, personnel, approval of appointment PAC positions. The board is asked to approve the student workers listed for the position and rate of pay noted as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. S, personnel, approval of appointments, summer stretch substitutes. The board is asked to approve the individuals listed for the summer stretch position noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. T, personnel, approval of extended time. The board is asked to approve extended time for the individuals listed for the maximum number of days/hours indicated at the respective daily rates of pay for the position specified for the 26-27 school year as recommended by the building principal, Director of Innovation and Learning, and local superintendent. U, personnel, approval of leave of absence. In accordance with the terms and conditions of the collective bargaining agreement, Ohio Revised Code, and their applicable leave balance, the board is asked to approve leave for the individual listed below as recommended by the local superintendent, Director of Student Services, and building principal. V, personnel, approval of appointment substitutes. The board is asked to approve the individuals noted for the 25-26 daily substitute positions listed pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, verification of proper licensure, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent. W, approval of policy, second reading. The board is asked to adopt the new/revised board policies listed as recommended by the local superintendent. And this concludes my superintendent report.
Thank you, Mr. Porcello. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Grega?
Yes.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Kretzer?
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mrs. Capo?
Thank you. A, contracts and agreements, satellite program. The board is asked to approve the satellite program standards and maintenance agreement with the Lake Erie College and Auburn Career Center for 2 years beginning July 1, 2026, and will automatically terminate on June 30, 2028, as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. B, acceptance of grant funds. The board is asked to accept the following grant and approve the appropriation for such grant to be placed in the indicated account, as recommended by the chief financial officer. C, approval of expenditure VR headsets. The board is asked to approve an expenditure to Prism VR using the Blackbaud Giving Fund in in the amount of $23,360 for the purchase of VR and Prism headsets and charging system, as recommended by the building principal and chief financial officer. B, transfer of funds. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to transfer any remaining funds from the class of 2026 into the class of 2028 account after all invoices are paid for fiscal year 26, as recommended by the building principal and chief financial officer. And this concludes my chief financial officer's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Cabro. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Leidy?
Yes.
Mrs. Truster?
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli? Yes. Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mrs. Grego?
Yes.
Is there any unfinished business?
I do have a question. So the Lake County General Health District that was here talking about the tobacco policy, we follow Neola's recommendations on that, right?
Typically, yes.
So I'm confused on what,
I can look at what their recommendations are compared to
Okay.
ours and look at Neola and all, and see what the differences are.
okay,
Come forward. We would have to do a first and second reading. So yeah, let me take a look at it and I'll keep
Okay.
everybody updated.
it didn't sound like they were talking about policy change. It sounded like it was just some verbiage. You guys got the same impression?
That's what I get.
Yep.
Okay.
And they did send an email that went out, they got out this morning.
So we can take a look into it and talk
I saw
to,
that, yeah, okay.
any other unfinished business? Any new business? Correspondence and announcements. The district will be closed on May 25th, 2026 for Memorial Day. The last day of classes for students in pre-K through grade 11 will be June 2nd, 2026. The district will be closed on June 19th, 2026 for Juneteenth. The next Board of Education work session is scheduled for Monday, May 26th, 2026 at 5:45 PM in the Tarbuck Center Conference Room. Is it Tuesday? Sorry, Tuesday. Tuesday, May 26th. The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Monday, June 29th, 2026 at 5:45 PM in the Tarbuck Center Conference Room. We also have commencement coming up next Sunday, the time of
May
that,
17th, 1 PM.
May 17th, 1 PM in the gym.
Competition Gym, yep.
And then I have to,
So we have a work session on June 15th too.
Is that our work session or do we have to call a special meeting for that
I
one?
think that was gonna be a special meeting.
We can
I
double
have
check
it
that
on
as
as
well.
work session.
Oh, that's what I have it as a work
Okay.
session.
So then we do have a work session on June 15th at 5:45 PM in the Tarbuck Center Conference Room as well. Hold on, let me just figure out which one this is.
Sale of property.
Okay. I move that the board adjourn to executive session for the purpose of the sale of property and competitive bidding, since disclosure at the time would give an unfair, competitive, or bargaining advantage to the persons whose personal private interests are adverse to the general public interest. Ohio Revised Code Section 12122G2. Is there a second?
Or, second, sorry.
Roll call, please.
Second.
Mrs. Truster?
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Foley?
Yes.
Mrs. Grego? Mr. Leidy?
Yes.
And we will not have any action after